After watching myself closely for a while, I realized that I have some form of avoidance to topics that I'm not comfortable with for one reason or another. Not because I have any actual necessary experience or perhaps correlation to what the feeling of avoidance is aimed towards, or I suppose in this instance, away from, so much as I have been feeding into thoughts that are not helpful and are not truly my desires. And it's a very different thing entirely to be able to not necessarily turn it off, but to understand what and why my mind is doing. Because it's primarily fear. The thing that I've been trying to say, oh, I would never work on fear again, it has been still the primary pusher in any situation that I exist in. And it's not so much about lying to myself as much as I had perceived it as that, so much as it is a form of, some would say perhaps imposter syndrome, and some would say, like, anxiety, where I tie false ideas to situations because it's the best I've got, rather than trying to say, oh, I should go in blind, because that's an incredibly difficult topic or an incredibly difficult thing to do. To try and view any situation as unbiased when you have experience that your mind can deem relevant to it, it keeps trying to bring that experience to the forefront and let you understand what you might be doing wrong. So, where do we then sit? We then sit inside a headspace of, here's a gajillion things that you could be doing wrong. Your mind trying to tell you, oh, whatever you perceive could be incorrect. And it ends up creating a giant thought loop, overthinking and trying to predict the future, as it were. Anxiety is more or less trying to predict the future. Into such an extent that in the past, I had myself convinced that I could see the future. And that's straight up fallacious reasoning, straight up logistical failure. And the reason being, I had such intense anxiety that I was basically planning all logical and illogical outcomes about any situation at any given time. So I was, as I would put it, looking through the realities and trying to pick the one that I wanted the most. Upon further inspection, the best quote-unquote version of those realities is the one that occurs naturally without me having to push necessarily too hard, but still having some direction to push in, because not pushing at all leads to a different reality, and pushing too hard leads to a different reality. So the answer, as it were, I keep trying to find an answer that's going to be the thing, the golden ticket, the moniker, the just say this and then it's the answer. It's not how that works. It's a constant, slight adjustment and applying oneself every day to the puzzle that is life. So going forward, as opposed to not moving and as opposed to walking sideways, trying to adjust and see the picture better, instead go forward. Even if forward is sometimes backwards, forward is still forward. Progress is not linear. As long as you are making progress of some variety, you are making progress. It doesn't have to be progress towards the thing that you're aiming for. All things end up being correlated in the end. So it's simply a matter of moving forward.